With the revolution of generative AI, it's amazing how easy it has become to generate new content. The right thing in building good teams is to bring people with different skill sets, with different cultures that work very well together. I'm never compromising on people that in my team. The second one, we are building a teams for long run. And I'm working with outsourced people 20 years, the same people. I don't see a situation that, high-tech industry will stop leverage IT outsources. The world will become more and more global.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Devico Breakfast Bar. Here we speak with different people involved in the business landscape, share their expertise, delve into the latest tech trends, and explore the ins and outs of IT outsourcing. I'm Oleg Sadikov, and today I'm excited to have Edward Tsinovoi, founder and CEO at IO River. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss new episodes. Hi Edward, and thanks for joining me today.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me with you.
Let's start our podcast with a little blitz. I start a sentence and you continue. Entrepreneurship gave me
The flexibility to implement myself.
Entrepreneurship deprived me.
A time, personal time.
My main superpower is.
Build amazing team.
My main weakness is.
To do so many things that I doing first time for me.
When I'm afraid,
I'm working with my team to go over and win.
Sounds great. Thanks for participating in the Blitz. Let's move to the questions. What motivated you to start IO River, and was there a specific problem or gap in the market that you wanted to address?
So when we are looking on the market of the content delivery or on the edge platforms market, I saw many customers, especially in the leaders of the online services, in the e-commerce spaces, media spaces, going and adopting edge multi-CDN approaches. These approaches allow them to optimize performance, reliability, and cost efficiency, but they were struggled to build these solutions. It was really complicated for them, and I saw how even the largest online services in the world struggle with some situations when the traffic is distributed to multiple different edge providers. And therefore, as a result of these complexities, many companies want to go and adopt these strategies of multi-edge, multi-CDN, but it's too complicated for them. So we established IO River to make it actually possible for everyone to adopt this technology, this approach, in order to optimize finally the performance, reliability, and cost of their service.
As both founder and CEO, what does your typical day look like, and how do you balance strategic planning and day-to-day operations?
First of all, the day you have 24 hours, so you have several days during the day. But I think that as CEO, my main focus is on the field, is on sales, marketing, opportunities from one side. From other side is in the positioning of the company inside a market with a lot of different players, a lot of amazing partners. We can work together to build the better solutions for our mutual customers. I think a significant time of my day is going on that, on building relationships, building opportunities for partnerships with other technologies. And then there is, of course, the day by day. Day by day, it's where we start the day and where we finish the day. And in the middle, we have all the fun.
Are there any key lessons that you learned that you wish you knew when you started your entrepreneurial journey?
First of all, nothing is coming quickly. Everything takes a time, and sometimes it's calendar time. So there are things...
Patience.
Exactly. So there are things that you cannot speed up. So they will take a time, and you need this time. So it will not help you to let's do it 3 times faster. It will not happen 3 times faster. You need this time. You need practically for everything, for anything that we are doing. Nothing happens in a day. There is no magics there. It's things need a time. You should have this time to make the right things, and you need a lot of passion to go over this journey. Amazing journey, but nothing easy.
What emerging threats do you see in the industry, and how can companies proactively address them?
In our market, when you're looking on the internet industry, it has passed multiple transitions over the past 20 to 30 years. At the end of the 90s, CDN providers distributed thousands of servers around the world to bring the content closer to the end user. While in the past, the majority of the digital content was static, today it has become much more dynamic, much more personalized. With the revolution of generative AI, Oleg, it's amazing how easy it has become to generate new content. We're actually facing a tsunami of digital content that should be delivered around the world. However, industry, which is responsible to deliver the content around the world, is still rooted in the mindset of the 90s, including the concept that the entire traffic in the world should pass through a single edge provider, concept that has slowly collapsed during the recent years, but for sure cannot meet the challenges that stands in front of us.
How is AI currently being utilized in the CDN, edge computing, and cloud industry?
It's a great question. AI, it's impact on everything in our days, everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere
so it's
now.
definitely also on the edge. I think that there are several implications of the AI on what happens on the edge. First of all, the fact that it's so easy to create the content, and this content is distributed around the world so quickly, it creates a huge overload on the existing platforms and networks that should deliver this content, because you create this content using amazing infrastructures like NVIDIA build and other companies are providing, but then you should deliver it. In order to deliver it, the delivery done through the edge platforms, and these edge platforms should be able to deliver the content reliable, fast, and cost efficient for their customers. So this is from one side. From other side, we see more and more AI capabilities moving to the edge. While edge in the past was pretty black box that provided only caching and delivery of the content, these days it become much more complicated. It's providing security services, edge computing services, and nowadays AI moving to there. You will be able to create AI logic on the edge and to deliver the outcome of this AI as quick as possible to your end user. So the AI has, like in any other places, amazing impact. It will change and impact a lot also how the edge looks today.
Can you share some specific examples of how AI has improved the performance and reliability of online services?
Sure. So think about it. Today, when you are splitting traffic and multiple vendors, you want to optimize performance, reliability, and cost. While in the past, the rules that you used to optimize it, you could decide, I want to use this vendor in this specific hour during the day in some specific geolocation. Today, these static rules become much more dynamic, much more specific, and much more learning from what happened in the past. Today, our system is based on an AI engine, which actually looking on the past, learning from how the traffic behaved in the past, and how we can optimize it for the future performance and in some cases even reliability.
What key principles guide your approach to managing and leading your team?
First of all, A team. Never compromise I'm never compromising on people that in my team. This is the first one. The second one, we are building a teams for long run. We are not building a team for next few months, for next year, for even next 2 years. We're building a teams for much longer than that. And the last one is leverage the teams that you built in the past. I built engineering organizations over my last 25 years, and I had opportunity to work with extremely good people around the world. And nowadays, I have a luck to bring some of them back already to work with them in Iowa River, and I'm sure that many other people will join as we progress with our journey.
IT outsourcing is a major trend in the tech industry. What are your thoughts on the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing, especially tech functions, outsourcing of tech functions?
So I'm a great fan of that. I'm doing IT outsourcing for more than 20 years. I believe that the right thing in building a good teams is to bring people with different skill sets, with different cultures that work very well together. Personally, I build the teams in Israel, partially in US, and with East of Europe organizations. And it's allowed you to create teams which complete each other. It's allowed you to create teams which think differently. So you have different point of views inside the team. And it's allowed you to leverage the differences in the culture and in the things that the people are good. There are people in Israel, there are people which are good in some aspects and they have weaknesses in other areas. In East of Europe, they complete it very well. In some cases, they are a little bit weak in other areas where Israel is better, but from other side have significant better skill sets than what we have in Israel. So by building a teams together and allow them to run together as a unified team, it's something which worked for me very good. And I'm working with outsourced people, again, 20 years, the same people.
How can a company assess whether outsourcing is the right move for their IT needs or no?
So in my perspective, it's a no-brainer. It's definitely the right thing to do. I did it when we established IO River. It was clear that we are building our organization distributed from first day. Our third employee was outsourced, was the person that leading the team in East of Europe. It was clear for me, if I would recommend organizations, I would recommend them to do outsource, not for projects. I would not recommend to outsource projects. I would recommend to extend the teams by adding outsourced resources which become part of the team for long term. If the team want to grow, this is, in my opinion, the best way to consider outsource. I would more carefully consider projects like I want to do something, let's outsource it for 3 months and magic will happen and it will be done and that's it and I will forget about it.
Okay, thanks for sharing your opinion. How do you see the role of IT outsourcing evolving in the context of your industry's futures?
From my perspective, it's IT outsourcing is already very involved. It's already, most of the companies are using IT outsourcing. They are, and therefore I can see it continue. I don't see a situation that the high-tech industry will stop leverage IT outsources. The world will become more and more global. And when there is a good synergy between culture synergies and good personal ground of work, I think it will just continue.
Yeah, I agree with you. Cultural matches really matter a lot in IT outsourcing because you communicate with the team on a daily basis and you have to have similar culture. Are there specific regions or countries that you find particularly promising for tech talent?
Yeah, I worked with many different geos during my years. For my personal, direction for outsource for IT will be East of Europe. Because Israeli in East of Europe, we are sharing practically the same time zone. So there are no differences in time zone. From culture perspective, I find that there is a lot of ground similarity in the cultural ground. Yes, there are significant differences. We are not the same. But the ground, the ability to understand each other, the communication is something which is working better. So my first direction will be to go to East of Europe.
As we wrap up our conversation, what advice would you give to companies considering IT outsourcing, but concerned about losing control over their technology projects?
So first of all, I would not recommend to move the entire engineering organizations to outsource. I don't think I would not do it personally, but actually extend. And when you extend and you bring, let's say, 30%, 40%, you are doing IT outsource, and you include the people inside the existing teams, you are not losing the control. Again, first of all, if you work with people for a long period of time, and I'm working with people through outsource in the last 20 years, so I don't see a difference between work with them and work with people which on my payroll, because the relations are much more stronger than the payroll itself. And therefore, I'm not feeling that I'm losing the control. But I will not move all the core of the team to outsource. I would not, crazy, but very dramatic things like that. But if you expand the team, you'll not lose the control. Simply do it slowly. Build it around the people that you work with them well. Don't grow too fast. Build it right. If you build it right, it's working amazingly good.
Edward, thanks for joining me today and sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate you found the time slot for this, and I'm sure the information you shared will be useful for my auditory.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me to be here.
If you enjoy our discussion and want to stay updated on future episodes, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you will not miss out on the latest insights and conversations from the Devico Breakfast Bar. See you in the next episode.